According to multiple reports, a woman who says she attended St. Paul, Minnesota church service last month is now suing Don Lemon, claiming she suffered emotional distress as a result of the anti-ICE protests that broke out inside the church.
In a court document first obtained by TMZ, Ann Duchette alleges that Don Lemon and other protesters unlawfully interfered with her ability to, quote, freely exercise her religion in a private place of worship.
Ducett claimed she suffered severe emotional distress, fear, anxiety, and trauma. Court documents allege Don Lemon appeared to take satisfaction in the disruption as he live-streamed the incident.
Video surfaced online in January that shows anti-ICE demonstrators disrupting service at the city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota. They confronted the pastor, whom the protesters alleged was connected to ICE. Demonstrators were chanting, quote, ICE out and justice for Renee Good. Lemon, who was arrested by federal officials late January, said that he was exercising his First Amendment right as a reporter to document the incident. Lemon and 9 others were indicted on federal civil rights charges of conspiracy and interfering with the First Amendment of rights of worshipers. This came after a 37-year-old U.S. citizen and mother of 3, Renee Good, was fatally shot during an encounter by an ICE officer in Minneapolis.
Very interesting.
You know,
I mean, so we'll have to see, again, a couple things, facts that are not known to me need to be sorted out.
By the federal government or by what?
Well, by the legal process.
Okay.
If he doesn't have a First Amendment right to be there, it's private property. Now, you can go, a church is, is opening its doors to people in general. Mm-hmm. So is there a moment where it's clear, where the pastor says, leave, and then if they don't leave, they're trespassing? Of course, they were charged with more than trespassing. So then you'd have to get it. Now, is he blocking people from leaving? That has to do with the criminal set. That was alleged that someone fell when they were trying to get out because they were creating a disturbance so that people couldn't leave. And Don Lemon was part of that and knew what was going on, knew what was going to happen ahead of time. In terms of this inflicting emotional distress, that's honestly probably going to be a lower bar to prove. These civil matters usually are, because that's just a preponderance of evidence versus a clear and convincing evidence.
Actually, if she was the one that tripped, it would be easier for her case in this civil charge case to prove that you had severe emotional distress. It's a really high bar for courts. I was reading about it because look,
it's a high bar.
Yeah, a high bar. No, it's like you have to prove. It says your involvement wasn't purely journalistic. You have a lot more to prove that you actually have severe emotional distress, like you're saying, fear and trauma, and he really impeded and wasn't doing his job as a journalist.
My understanding is the burden of proof is literally lower. The burden of proof is literally like preponderance of that, right?
I mean, you're going to show your therapy sessions and say that Don Lemon directly is the one who caused that?
People do this in lawsuits that I find silly, but things that
I mean, Don Lemon,
Judge Judy, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like my neighbor did whatever, these kinds of disputes between people all the time. There are a lot of them that I think are totally stupid. But
well, the fact that he live streamed the event and he was literally providing a play-by-play, and we have that on video, might be hard for her to say that he directly, as opposed to any other protesters,
might make it
were hindering her in any way. She said he found satisfaction in it. You're going to prove that he found satisfaction by telling you, if you could see in front of me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was watching the live stream. He was explaining what was happening. So the fact that he is explaining play-by-play, how is that causing you emotional distress? She's welcome to. We always talk about this. You want to civilly sue people to the day you die. I think that sometimes it's petty. You think that it's petty, but you think the president, for example, can do whatever he wants when he wants to civilly sue all these places.
Anyone can sue any other person for any reason.
Right.
The robber who stubs his toe as he's robbing you, he can sue you for having your chair at a place. Right. There's
some lawyers
like that where it happens. We all know these ridiculous cases. So. Frankly, if I had to guess, I bet he's more likely to have to pay out in this suit than he is to actually be convicted on the charges.
Some lawyers look at this and they probably saw like dollar signs in their eyes when they thought about what's happening in the federal government. And
trial attorneys.
Right. There's a lot of people. You call them, in other situations, you call them ambulance chasers, but in this time, you're calling them trial attorneys. Like the language around it.
No.
You got to be consistent with the language. They're ambulance chasers.
And Don Lemon's a wealthy guy.
Oh, he is.
They will be all over
got paid out by CNN. I don't think he's going to have trouble paying it, but hopefully he has a good lawyer and doesn't have to pay it because he was reporting the news. He was exercising his First Amendment rights.
This is bad.
Freedom of the press.
So I think there's too much abuse of the tort system. We all want tort reform. That's a very bipartisan thing, although trial attorneys are a major Democratic constituency, which is why we never get tort reform. Because it's their money. It's how they make their living, how they buy their speedboats. That does it for us today on Rising Live. Thanks so much for watching, and look out for more exclusive YouTube content coming your way later today. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Hills YouTube channel so that you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while we are on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.